Welcome back to part 2 of this tutorial. We've done the first tutorial, was very long because we had some glitches here and there, but we think we figured it out, and we want to do a second part and make it snappy. So what we're going to show you here is how to create this awesome display. So this is just basic display, so we're going to do it afresh. We're going to do everything afresh, so you can watch us from beginning to end. So really, I just want to make sure that my screen is still visible. Okay, my screen is visible to you. I need 2 monitors to do this, but I have one. So I'm just going to try with what we have. Right, so again, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so right now. Very, very important. And it's free. All right, if you have subscribed before, you don't need to do it again unless you have a different user ID. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to create a user interface, graphical user interface for our Nextion display. So we have a Nextion display right here. So I'm going to show you on this insert. So this is Nextion display. It is 484 pixels to 272 pixels display. So you just want to create a graphical interface for that. So we're going to create something similar to what you saw at the beginning. So we're going to have an insert here, image insert. So we're going to insert shape, and we're just going to make it. You can actually do page setup if you will. I think that would be a good one. If I do page setup, let's see. So let's do page setup custom. Yeah. So does it have pixels? Yes, it has pixels. That's better. So 484 by 272. This is better for you. Apply, and then you have the page setup to that size, right? So if in doubt, you just check it again. Let's just check what it is. Page setup again. Let's change it to pixels, make sure it's the same. So that's what we have. That's our page. Then we're just going to fill the page with a different color. We're going to use black. The reason is if there's any white background, we can see through the black, right? And then we have to put some buttons on top of it. So we're going to put more shape, and this time around we can use okay, let's just do something crazy. Let's put a center button here, and then just center it properly in the. So this will center it for us. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Try to center it. When you have all these 4 lines, then you know you've centered it, right? So I think it can be even much smaller. Now it's too small. I want to make it uniformly small. Okay, let's center it again. Center up, down. Yep, that's the center. And then you can also change the color. So let's change the color to something else. Let's make it what color do we make it? Blue. Let's make it blue. Let's fill it with blue. Yeah, and then we're gonna have, I think it has outline as well. Do you want to bother about the outline? Light to transparent. Let's see. Okay. This is border color, no color. Can we do it no color? All right. So let's put buttons because we want to click this. So it has insert more shapes. We can use triangles. Okay, let's use triangles just to avoid spending so much time. I think it's fine. Let's fill it. Blue. Okay, up. Then we're just gonna create that same all around. Now I'm feeling differently about this shape that we have here. Yeah, okay, this is better. Okay, duplicate. Control D would duplicate that, and then I'm going to flip it. (180°). Then I'm going to make another duplicate of this two. Duplicate. I'm going to flip them 270, and then just, oh no, I'm going to make it 270. And then I'm going to try to take them together, but no, I missed it again. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to try to pick them together. I want to pick them up together. Alright, instead of wasting a lot of time, if I miss it this time around, I'm just going to ignore it and do it the hard way. Just do it one by one. But I want to do it one time. So I'm going to hold shift and just move it gradually until I think I got it. This is all I need. So I just need this for arrows here. And then that's all I need. So I'm going to crop this. So I'm going to crop this. And then I probably need to make it 2 times. So let me duplicate this. Duplicate, yeah, I duplicate the slide. So click on the slide and duplicate it. And then one of them, I'm going to change the colors, all the fill colors, to different color. So I'm going to do fill color to maybe lighter blue, something like that. Is it the same color? I think it's the same. No, they're not the same. Okay. So this is lighter. So that's all I needed. And then I can make these to glow as well. So let's just make them glow. I'm just going a little bit fancy this time around. And of course, the more fancy you go, the more time you spend to fix any issues you find. So let's, where's the format options? We need shadow and let's see, where do we have the glow? It's easier with PowerPoint, but I don't need text, I don't need rotation. So the shadow, no, I don't think I need that. I just need the glow. Where's glow? Alright, so I don't think I need that. Let me just go back. Right, I don't need the shadows. So let's make it glow individually. We figure out the one that glows better. Blow, reduce reflection. I don't need reflection. Position is fine. Size. Alright, so I am gonna make this faster than I wanted. I'm gonna make this slower than I wanted by doing this. So I'm gonna leave that and just crop it. So I have that. Let me save this. So snipping tool, if you're using Windows computer or any other software you're using, just snip this image. If you're using other image editors or creators, you can save directly as PNG. But now I'm gonna crop this. Alright, so this one I'm gonna save it. Let me make sure you're seeing my full screen because it's important for those that want to follow everything step by step. So desktop capture, is that desktop capture? Desktop capture, I need let me see if you can see my full desktop now. No, you can't. Alright, so I'm gonna make sure you can see my full desktop. Window capture. whole display. Yeah, this is the one you want. All right, so you want to see everything I'm doing right now. So I've cropped this one, and I'm just gonna save it. Save as. I'm just gonna call it navigation navi 2, and then normal navi 2 normal, and then desktop. I save it there. And then I'm gonna go to page 2, and then I'm gonna crop it again. Crop new. Carefully select. Sometimes you select a white background, then it's gonna show up in your final design. So, and then I'm gonna just save it again. Save as. I'm gonna call it Navi 2 again, Navi 2, but this time around it's gonna be clicked. Navi 2 clicked, and then alright, so I'm gonna go to Paint, and I'm gonna open it in Paint. Open Navi 2 clicked. It doesn't matter. I just want to make sure that the size is the same. Something is wrong here. I'm gonna try to remove the white space. Alright, try to remove the white space, even though I think I've overdone it. Yeah. Resize pixels. I don't want to maintain aspect ratio. I want this to be 484, and then I want this to be 272. Save. So this is the clicked. Then I'm gonna open the unclicked one, the normal one. So you're gonna see Navi 2 again, Navi 2 normal. Okay, yeah, Navi 2 normal. I wanna do the same thing here. Trying to remove this white area showing there. And then I'm gonna I'm gonna resize pixels. It's way more than we wanted, 1484. Then I don't want to keep aspect ratio because they are not the same. 270. Alright, so save. Alright, so I've done that. Then the next thing is for me to go to my Nextion editor and import that. So I'm going to create a new project in my Nextion editor. So file, I don't have to do file, I can just click new. And then once I go to new here, I can give it a name, Navi 2. Alright, and save. So it's going to ask me to choose my type of display. I'm using enhanced display right here. I think this time around I can remove the full screen because it's really ugly sometimes. Whole monitor. I don't want to show the whole monitor. Let's look at for the Nextion. Nextion insert is there. What else is there? Alright, so Nextion. Alright, that's what we want. Alright. But even though I chose the Nextion, something else is still showing on top. Why? Alright, I have the Nextion showing up, but it's not really showing up. Oh, right, it is actually showing up, but on the side. Okay, this is what I want. Alright, so this is what I want. For some reason, I had oversized it, and it's out of view, completely out of view. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, let's make it this way. Okay. So we'll go back there. So we're gonna choose our video, our display size, which is okay, it's still showing here. So this is Nextion Display. We're using 484 by 272. That's what we have. So we're gonna choose that one. So it's enhanced and it's 484 by 272. Actually, it's 480. Oh no, 480 by 272. We've been making mistake all along. So let's go and fix that. Let's go and fix that here. We're gonna resize it. 480. Resize is 480 pixels. 480 by 272. 272. I've been calling it 484 all along and be making a mistake. Save. So this is the normal. We're gonna open the clicked one again and fix the issue we created for ourselves. I think I noticed something here. I could have just taken it from here. This is the clicked one. Yeah. So we're gonna resize it. It's 480, not 484. We don't maintain aspect ratio 480. Yeah. Now the issue is fixed. Okay, so we're just gonna save it. Good. So we go here and well, I doubt if you saw what I did there, but what I did was just fix the size. So I'm using 480, 480 by 272 open. So let me show my full screen one more time and show you what I did, because I think I had made a mistake and I just figured it out and fixed it. Whole display. Whole display doesn't show because Nextion is blocking it. Okay. Right. So what I did was I went back to my paint and I just pulled this back up and resized it. Changed the pixels to 480 by 272, and I did that for the, this is the clicked, and I did that for the normal again, resize, and then just change it for 480 272. That's all I did. So I'm gonna show you. Let's just make sure that I didn't change something, because it's easy to change something here, and I don't want to make a mistake again. All right. So we have cleared that. So let me just show you the Nextion. Nextion. Yeah, good job. Now the next thing is for us to choose the screen orientation. We want to do it 180 so it stays in this orientation that it is right now. Right. So this one should hide. I want it to stay in this orientation, so 180. You can do it 90 or so, but I want it to remain that way. Now we just have to import the images that we created. I'm going to add images, and it's going to be Navi 2. So we need both of them clicked and normal, and just import, and then those two will show up here. And having done that, we have the normal is going to be darker, the clicked is going to be lighter. So the normal is going to be our first. So we're going to insert a picture. In that picture, we're going to find the value of that picture from here, browse. And it's going to be the darker of the two. That's our primary picture that's there. And then we're going to include some buttons, right? So the buttons we're going to include is maybe all five. Before we did 4, but now we're going to do 5. So here we're going to have a button here. All right, so we're gonna make it a solid fill, but we're gonna make it crop so we can see what's behind. And for that, we can actually make it smaller, the area to be smaller. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is fine. So what's gonna be on top? We're gonna say, before that, let's create fonts, because this can be troublesome. Let's go font. We're gonna generate some fonts. And then we're gonna call it first. Why can't I just import fonts? Let's just try 16, font 16, and then just call it font 16. Font 16. Then it will generate and ask you to add. You say yes, you want to add it, and then it wants to generate another one, so we call it second. But this I don't think this is important because you can actually 16. Let's make this one 32. Generate font and a font 32, and then this should be all we need for now. I think that would be add. Yes, we add, but we don't need another one. It's not intuitive, but we don't need another one. And then the picture here. So when we crop, we want to have a picture, the first and second picture. So this one remains the initial picture, but then when you click it, what is going to show up is the picture number 2. So we want number 2 to show up unclicked. So let's browse. This is one we want to show when we click it. Yeah. So 0 will show when we click it, and 1 will show. So it's going to be 0 and 1, 0 and 1. Okay. So we're going to do the same for the rest of the buttons. So instead of repeating that, let's just call this one up. We're going to change the text value from new text to up. And we can change the color as well to red. Right now the color is black, so we call it red. Then this one, let's just copy and paste. This one will be down. Let's make it cyclic, so it goes from upright, then it's gonna go down, then left, and center. So this center, you can call it OK. Instead of up, we can call it OK. OK button or enter. Let's just say it's enter. This one you call it right. This is down. And finally this is left. Alright, we've created that. So let's just try to debug it and see if there's gonna be an error here. And so far there's no error. And because of this text, it just looks ugly. Maybe the button could be bigger, but that's your style, whatever you want to create. But this is just to show you examples. So there's no error here. So this is much faster than the previous one we did. So now we're just gonna assign some values, so functions to the button, right? So on touch release, so this button, when I click it and I release it, I want you to send me an ID. I want you to do the same, this guy, and all of them. Let's see, can I select multiple at the same time? Yes, I can, but I can't assign functions. Too bad. So let's just do this. If you want to make it faster, what you could do is when you create one button, make sure you assign the value and then copy and paste, and the value, like what happens when you touch and release, will be copied over. But really what's going to happen here is whenever we click a button, it will send its ID to us. The enter, when we click and release, all of them, when we click and release, it will send its ID. We can make one of them different, right? So let's make the center send us ID only when clicked and not when released. So we can just do that. We don't need, or we can get 2 IDs for it if we want, but okay, I'm just gonna make it on click, but the rest of them on click release, on click release, on click release, on click release. The center will be on click. All right, so let's debug and see what I mean by that. Let me just make sure that you can still see my screen, because it's important to me that you see everything I'm doing. All right, so for some reason, I'm showing the full screen again, which is really fine. Okay, it's fine. So when I click on right, you get this value displayed: down, left, up. When I click, nothing happens. When I release, it will give you a value. Now when I click the center, it will give me a value. When I release, nothing will happen. Click, value is displayed, release, nothing happens. So we have figured out how to make this send us some values when we click it. So the next thing to do now, we're done with the Nextion editor. We've created our graphical user interface. You can create it any way you want. Now the next thing is to copy the files into the Nextion editor itself. You can You can do this by connecting FTDI cable directly and then flashing it directly, or you can just copy to an SD card. So I'm going to copy to an SD card. So first of all, you have to compile. Click on compile, and the compilation is done. There's no errors. Everything is done perfectly. Then you go on file, and then you're going to do TFT file output. So I'm going to do that now. So I have my SD card. I'm going to plug it in. So I've plugged it in now. I'm going to try to view that, what I've just plugged in, and it will have something in it, but I want to delete it because it has to have only one file in it. So I'm going to delete whatever I have inside. Gone. Now I'm just going to save, right? So I'm going to go file, TFT output. So I'm going to put the output. Again, some of these things are not intuitive, but the output goes here. Navi 2.tft. That's what's going to happen. It's done. It's copied over. You can verify before you unplug it or before you exit. So here, yeah, Navi 2. So I'm done. I can just exit this. Eject. Eject it. Okay. So I'm gonna take it off. Then let me make sure you can still see my screen. All right. Cool, display is gone. I don't want to show you that now. I have it here in my SD card, so I'm just gonna, this is the adapter. I'm gonna take out the SD card, the micro SD card, and I'm gonna plug it into my Nextion editor. Then I just have to power it up. To power your Nextion editor, there are several ways to power it up, but there is this adapter that comes with the Nextion editor. You need to plug in the power, just the positive and negative, right? So the plus will go to plus and the negative will go to negative, of course. And then I'm just gonna plug in the USB, micro USB to this port here. Once you plug it in, you can see in the monitor. Let's see if I can zoom it a little bit more. It's really hard to see. Alright, so it's already uploaded because it's so, just the short code, and the camera focus is failing us. Yeah, let's see. Camera focus is failing us. I have the camera upside down, so like using mirror upside down, so it's kinda, yeah, okay, let's see. All right, update succeeded. So what I'm gonna do now is to do it over again. All right, let me do it again. I'm gonna unplug it and plug it back without removing the SD card. So if you leave the SD card in anytime you plug in the power, it will just do the update again, and that's not what you want, right? So, but I just want to show you how it goes, and you can see the update is successful. So I'm gonna unplug it. I'm gonna remove the USB. And then I'm going to remove my SD card. Very important. Very important. So press it in and then it pops out. Then take the SD card out. Then I'm going to power it up again. When I power up again, what we created on the screen will show up on the display. You can see that exactly as we created it on the screen, right? So it's displayed here. And so you can see when I press the button, it changes color. Right, so we are almost there. We're almost there. So what we're gonna do next is now go to Arduino and code what we've developed here. We're gonna code it. So let me make sure that you can see my Arduino. You don't need my what's it called? My presentation again. My slide. So I need to get up my window capture. All right, so this is just showing everything on my screen. All right, I'm gonna show you my Arduino. Where is the Arduino? All right, so we're gonna write the code here inside the Arduino. All right, so I don't know what this is doing on top of the screen here. I'm just gonna drag it away. We don't need to see that. Whatever it is, can you hide? Yeah, you can hide. All right, and then I'm gonna get my serial monitor as well. Where's my serial monitor? Serial monitor. Where serial monitor is gonna be last, so even if it's hiding, we can. Okay, serial monitor is there. That's from the previous video we did, but I'm gonna just go and write the codes right now for you. All right. Again, every moment I'm gonna be checking to make sure that you can still see my monitor. So I'm gonna clear the serial monitor. So let's go. All right. Just almost like I'm paranoid because I want to make sure that you can see what we're doing. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do is to declare the what we're doing here. So let's just put a comment. All right. So here we're gonna say if you want to contact us, you're gonna go to info@hackerworld.com, and this is copyright 2021, and you can find us also at hackerworld.com. I think that's all we need to declare here, and we can also see exactly what we're doing. Nextion editor project with Arduino. All right, so here we're gonna just do some include. So hashtag, we're gonna include software serial .h, and then we're gonna include, why can't this just be automatic, include ESP, that's the board we're using, ESP8266, and .h, sorry, yeah, of course, .h, and try to avoid making some errors that are not necessary, so because we did this previously and we had so many errors. All right, so the library, make sure that you have the right library, and so this is all we need here, and then we're just gonna go ahead and declare our Nextion editor. So before we do so let's just say here we're gonna have the setup, and then we're gonna have the code. This will be the loop. So we're going to create those, but before we do any of this, we're going to declare that our Nextion, we're going to give it a variable, we're going to create a variable for this, and we're going to call it, just say Nextion read. Let's say, what do we call it? Yeah, Navi. Let's call it Navi 2, or just Navi, right? So we call it Navi, and then so it's gonna be Nextion, and the baud rate is 96. That's all we need. And then in our voice setup, this is what happens one time. Anytime the device boots up, this is what's gonna happen. So we're gonna begin our serial. Remember, we said it is 9600 baud rate. So we're gonna start that anytime we put it on, and then we're gonna initialize Navi. Let's make it small letter, navi.init. So we're initializing this Navi, so I was gonna do this, and then once we initialize that, then what else can we do? I don't think there's any other thing we can do here because we don't have any outputs declared. So that's all we need to do in our setup. And the most important thing that I omitted here is to declare void setup. Very easy to omit. I need to declare it as a function here. So this function is executed. I'm giving instruction to the microcontroller what to do on power up, and I omitted to tell it is a function. So you don't do that. So here, of course, we cannot do the same thing here. Void loop, we cannot make the same mistake again. Void loop, this is what happens consistently. consistently, it runs all the time. So first of all, we're gonna let's just write some instructions for ourselves, or maybe comments for ourselves. So we're gonna read from the Nextion display, Nextion or Nextion, I don't know how you call it, but Nextion display. So that's what we're gonna do, and then once we read from it, we're gonna print to the serial monitor. So first of all, we're going to read and then we'll print. So how do we read? So we're going to declare a variable. We can declare it as a global variable right up here. So we can just say string message, right? So you're going to just call it message, and then we'll go here and say in the void loop and read message, we're going to say message is equal to navi.listen. Right, so that's what we're gonna do here. So once we launch the code, and you do the initialization, and it goes into the void loop, which is what happens constantly. It's gonna start listening for an incoming message. So if there's a message, do stuff. If there's no message, then just don't do anything. So we're gonna tell it to listen for a message, and then we're gonna give some conditions, right? So we can tell it to print a message right away, or we can tell it to do something else. So we can say if message is not equals to null, then, sorry, I want to put this here before I press enter. Then we're gonna say serial print. Then we're gonna say print that message. So basically that's it. So and first of all, in the read, I put this here, but actually let's just make it correspond with the comments that we created for ourselves, so that we know what we are doing. When we come back to this code, we can understand what we're doing. So I'm gonna just check the code to make sure that everything works fine. So to check the code, you just do compile sketch. So it's gonna compile the sketch, and I'm doing this on a previous Arduino project. That's why the name is off. Just you can ignore the name. All right. So something is wrong here. No file or directory named that. 8266. Of course, there's no file directly named that. It has Wi-Fi in it. The original one has Wi-Fi in it. Yeah. So it's easy to make a mistake. So when you make a mistake, just fix the mistakes. Look at the comments. It will help you and guide you to make the modifications or the corrections that you need. Right. So I think that will be the only issue that we'll have on this episode. Hopefully. All right. If this is not live, I would have fast forwarded this place because checking the codes just taking time. So while doing that, I'm just gonna unplug this and connect it to my Arduino. Right. So I gotta figure out where I kept the Arduino, and I found it. Nextion was not declared in this scope, so I think I ran into the same issue that I ran into last time. Nextion was not declared, so that's the same issue I ran into last time. So how did I fix it? So let me change this to my Nextion. All right, we have to use what is in the so in the library. Let's use what is recognized by the library. All right, so I'm gonna plug this up. Now while that is compiling, I'm gonna plug in my Nextion display. Let me see that, make sure that you can see what I'm showing you. I'm gonna zoom this out so you can see more area. All right, so in my Arduino, I'm gonna plug in the ground to ground and the power supply to the positive. Right. So I've plugged that in, and I need to connect my data line. Right. We have seen another error, same error. So let's just read. Nextion was not declared in this scope. Right. So it's complaining that this is not part of the scope. Did I put that before my Nextion? Did I put that before my void setup? Yes, I did. All right. So this created a lot of issue last time. So yes, I think I keep making this mistake because I'm gonna change this to a different declaration. Let me just see. Let me just take that risk. Okay, Navi. I'm gonna call it Navi one more time. And I think I've figured out what the issue was. There was a gap between that. So let me see. I'm gonna call it Navi one more time and see if it's gonna give me the same issue. Let's see if it's gonna give us the same issue. If it gives us the same issue, then we're just gonna use the library declarations. Make sure we're consistent. And there are two more things we need to do. We need to declare the input. All right. So yeah, it's still giving us the same issue. So we're gonna fix that. But before we do that, I want to declare something that I have made a mistake here. So software serial. So we're gonna say Navi. We're gonna call it Navi, and we're gonna use pins 4 and 5. This will be how we're gonna communicate to the. So this will be the Nextion TX and RX pins. So this will be the pins from the Nextion. So let's see. I think this is where we have made the error. No, I think I'll fix it now. And those errors was because I haven't declared this software serial here. So now that I've declared it, hopefully everything should go smoothly. And let's just one more thing we need to declare, which really have to be part of the whole setup, is because when we flash this, we need to conflicting declaration. Yeah, my Nextion. So let's not do that. Let's not confuse the guy. My Nextion. All right, so it's no longer conflicting. Let's also declare the pins. Software serial Nextion. Yeah, we have conflicted something here. Nextion. Yeah. Don't do that. All right. So we have declared the pins, and then we also declared the Nextion here. So what I'm gonna do now is to connect the wires, the data pins. So one of them is read and one of them is write. So if you look at the back of your Nextion display, you will see that the transmit is blue wire. So the transmit will go to receive, and then the receive will go to the transmit again. So you see I left the old declaration here. All right, so I think that should be it. This error should stop. We need to be very careful, and we've plugged it in. So the transmit here, so the pin number 4 is our transmit, and it goes to the receive here. So pin number 4 goes to receive, and then I think we need to see where the pins are. So let's just go and look at the pins. Let's look at the pins. Nextion whole display. So let's try this one here. Yeah. So pin 5 is D1 and pin 4 is D2. All right. So from Nextion display pin out. All right. So what we're gonna do then? We're just gonna hide the whole display again and go back to what we had before. So this is what we had. Done compiling. The compiling errors are gone. We were given using conflicting declarations. Don't do that. All right. So pin 4. 4 is our We just looked at it right now. So pin 4 is D2, and pin 4 is our transmit. So that transmit goes to our receive. So a receive is the yellow wire. All right. So let's put it properly. And that's all we need to do. After that, we just have to flash it. So you're going to take the USB cable and power your Arduino board, and everything comes on. It's powered. Now you just need to flash it. So to flash it again, you just go back to the Arduino code and press on upload, and it should upload. Now if for any reason this doesn't upload, you have to check, go on tools, make sure that your COM port is the right one, you have your Arduino board plugged in. Right, so we made some mistakes here trying to create some errors that we had before, but we were able to only create one of the errors, which is that you didn't have the Nextion declared in the scope, and we had to declare it in the scope. And the other error we had, the board not working, we couldn't create it unless we're going to use the same wires, but we don't have to do that. We know the wire that works, so we're using that. And I think the code is going okay. Compiling sketch one more time, and it should be successful. If it fails, just read the code. Now it's successful. Now uploading the code. It should take a few more seconds, 15%, 23%, 30%, a few more seconds, and it should be done. We are at 53% right now, 69%, 79, 84, 92, and it should be done right now. Everything is done. So let's check, let's test the code. Okay, so we are not getting the display play up anything. Maybe we'll have the wires upside down. No worries, just switch it up. I think we got it right the first time. Yeah, all right. So now we're gonna change our code one more time. We're gonna change our code one more time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the Nextion editor and press the different buttons and look at the codes that are displayed on the screen. So I'm gonna clear everything, and I'm gonna press up, down, right, and left. So up, down, right, left, and then center. So up, down, right, left, center. So what this means is whenever I press up, I'm gonna get this number displayed. So I'm gonna press up again. Doesn't matter how many times I press up, it's gonna give me the same numbers, right? So up has a value 2 in it. So I'm gonna copy that. And I'm gonna go in my void loop, and I said if the message is not blank, print it out. But I'm gonna do something more. I'm gonna say something different. I'm gonna use another if statement here. If message is this value that I've just put here, right? What you're gonna print for me is different. I want you to print for me that I have pressed. So don't print message for me anymore. I don't need that. Because I know that it's not blank. So I need you to tell me you have pressed up. Okay, I'm gonna say what you're gonna print is up button pressed. All right, so this is what's gonna happen. So whenever I press up button, you're gonna print this out. Print up button pressed. I don't really need the message anymore. Just print up button pressed. Then I'm gonna do the same here. So else, then I'm gonna say if message is, let's say down. When I press down, I'm gonna get 4. So else if message has 4 in it, tell me that I've pressed down. And then I'm gonna do another else. If message is, let me see, right. Let's clear this and do right one more time, right? Right has 3 in it. say right button pressed. Then I'm going to do another else if. Let's do left. Left has 5 in it. Then tell me that left has been pressed. Then I say the last one is else. Really, I've done up, down, right, left. So the next one is going to be enter, which is 6. It has 6 in it. Oh, well, I don't have to do that. Else, I can just say else. I can just say else. Enter button pressed. Right? Because if it's either up, down, right, left, or enter. Right? If I have checked that it's not up, it's not down, it's not right, it's not left, the only message that is not a null message will be enter. So enter is 6. I can write a code that says if 6 is pressed, tell me enter is pressed, or I can simplify it and say else. If it is not any of these other else if statements, then else is enter that has been pressed. And so that will be it. So we can go ahead then and use this code to create other functions. You can turn light on, light off. You can do door open, door close. You can do anything. You can write any function within this if statements, right? Whatever condition that you create, and when that condition is met, then you can execute the function that you want, right? So you can check when 2 buttons are pressed one after the other. So you can write an if statement and you can use a Boolean to say when one is pressed. Let me just clear this and we can demonstrate this. Clear. All right. So up button pressed, down button pressed, right button pressed, left button pressed, enter button pressed. Awesome. So you see how we've created this. So you can create this on your own. It's this simple. Just make sure you're using the same library as we are using. Very important. If you use a different library, you might get a different function, a different performance. And I tried to change the variables and I was getting some errors. So you can play around and use different variables. Make sure that you don't have conflicting variables. When you have an issue, just read the instructions and see what it tells you. Because when initially I declared Nextion 2 times, I used Nextion here and Nextion there, and I have a different declaration elsewhere, and it was just conflicting. And it says, no, you can't do that. So the moment it tells me don't do that, then I stopped doing that, right? So you can't have conflicting declarations. So I can try to play around with it, where I have the initial my Nextion does init, my Nextion does listen. So let's see, what can I change? I can't use this one here, my Nextion here. So let me just try to change the places I have my Nextion and see what it's gonna tell me. Navi, and I have another one here, Navi. Is there another my Nextion does listen, call it Navi. So I'm gonna try it again and see. I'm trying to create the errors so that if you see similar errors, you can know how to deal with it. Let's see if it returns error. Again, so I was talking about using a Boolean. So you can see if the up button is pressed and then the down button is pressed, following that, then do this function. Else, do something else. So when I press up and down, you can use this as a combination lock. When I press up and then down and then right and then left and then enter, then open the door. But if I do it in any other combination, don't. Right? So you can use this function as a combination lock. So then you have a Boolean that says when A is pressed, make something true. And then when B is pressed, if A is already true, then make B true also. But if B is pressed but A is not true, then make keep B false. So you can keep building up the true and false statement until the final button is clicked. I think this is still working fine. So we just have to be careful not to use the wrong declaration, because I have put Nextion here and I have used a different name for it somewhere else or something like that. So it was conflicting. But now that I'm using it in the right way, it's not conflicting anymore. So up, down, left, right, enter. That's so easy. Let me make sure you can see my hand. So this will be it for us today. If you have, this is enter button pressed, enter button pressed, enter button pressed. All right, I'm gonna clear it, and then I'm gonna do other buttons, and then I'm gonna do left button press. I'm gonna do right button press. I'm gonna do down pressed. All right, so you can create this the way you want. The blue I have on my screen is not the blue that is showing actually on the monitor. I don't know why it's doing that, but the blue I have on my Nextion is much deeper blue. It's much deeper blue. I don't know why it's not the same quality. I wish you get the same quality blue that I have. So beautiful. All right. So when I press it, it changes color to show that the button is pressed. I'm gonna try to use a pen from my computer and press it so that my finger doesn't block the way. Yeah, the rest of the button, when you release, the function goes. The button really glows when I press it. The blue that I have on the Nextion display, deep blue, very deep blue. It's almost close to this blue, but deeper blue than that. All right, so I don't know why it's doing that, but let me turn off this light and see if it helps. It doesn't help. All right. The center button, once you press it, it sends you a message, center has been pressed or enter has been pressed. Let me press it again. Enter pressed, but the rest of them only when I release, just like we coded it to do. All right. So if you are using any other library than we are using, you need to get the Nextion master, shaking the table so the camera is shaking and dancing. Now, if you're using any other library, please make sure that you got the Nextion master library. I'm gonna find the link to that library and put it in the comments so you can see that all in the description. Wherever possible, I'm gonna put it there. But this is it for us today, and I hope that you like this. Please, if you have not subscribed, do so right now. The subscription is free, right? And what it helps you to do is to get notified when we create new videos. If you are using a different account than previous and you have subscribed, then you can subscribe on all your accounts. But if you have already subscribed, there's no point subscribing again, because I noticed some people try to subscribe multiple times, or so it seems. I see some people subscribe and then unsubscribe and then subscribe again. So I think that you probably thought you didn't subscribe and then you clicked it again. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when you subscribe, so that you don't do it over and over again, so it unsubscribes you and you might miss the next videos. So if you subscribed before, I want to thank you for that. You don't have to do it again, but if you have not, or you have multiple accounts and you want to be notified wherever you are, then you probably want to subscribe with all your accounts. So let me just show you that. So if you let me just go to my I'm gonna show all my monitors. Before that, let me make sure that my video is showing, because I don't want you to see someone else's video while you're watching my live stream. Monitors. All right, so let's see. Subscribe. Where is that? Okay, that is there. So let's see, can we see the screen? Bring up the monitor. whole display. Yeah, that's the one we're looking for. All right, so this is what I want you to see. I think something else is also up on the screen, and it's blocking part of the view. That is let's remove that. What is that? Arduino? Is it Arduino? Not Arduino. Something is blocking part of the view. Nextion. Something is blocking your view. Okay, I think I've taken that serial monitor was blocking your view. All right. So this is what it looks like. And I'm sure I know you're seeing this weird thing. Yeah, but let's see. Yeah, when you subscribe and you want to subscribe again, you will see that it will gray out a little bit, showing you that you have subscribed, so you don't have to do it again. If you do it again, it will unsubscribe you, and then you have to subscribe again. So don't click on it again if you're already subscribed. If you're not subscribed, it will be showing active for you to be able to subscribe. All right, thank you again, and I must see you in the next one. All right, take care. Whole monitor, where is whole monitor, serial monitor, whole display. All right. Like, subscribe, share this video, and please let your friends know about this channel and keep coming back. If you have more questions, I'm going to put this link to the other link where someone had requested for this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. And I think, as I normally say, thanks for sticking around to the end. That'll be it from us today. If you have not subscribed, please do so right now. And please remember to share, like this video. All right.